Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father, and as always, I'm bringing you guys awesome interviews. Today it is an honor and privilege to have one of the upcoming bands from Denmark. I have Andreas of Cabal. They have a new debut album that's going to come out called Mark of Rot, is the debut album of Cabal and the follow-up to their critically acclaimed EP Purge from 2016. And Mark of Rot will be released Friday, February 23rd via Long Branch Records. So if you like death metal, heavy stuff, like I told Andreas before the show, this album is so freaking brutal. If you like heavy stuff, it'll wet your taste buds. Trust me. So Andreas, how's it going, my man?
It's going pretty good. We're just like getting all the last stuff ready to release the album, and we're currently doing this charity tour to donate towards research in children's cancer.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, it's really cool. We get to like play a lot of cool shows, and we get to like donate money towards something that's like a great cause.
Yeah, and I don't mean to be negative or anything, but I think that's so freaking amazing because cancer does not discriminate.
No, it doesn't, man. It's brutal.
It is. And I've watched my family members go through it, and I tell you what, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Seriously.
No, me neither, man.
What's impressed or excited you, Andreas, the most about making this debut album, Mark of Rot? What's caught your eye about it or impresses you the most, possibly?
I think the thing I've been most impressed by so far has like been the reception. Like, we've gotten such great reception and people have been so positive towards it. It's like, it's really amazing that people are actually digging something you spend so much time on doing. It's like a little pet project. Like, all of us has jobs, full-time jobs. Mm-hmm. This is something we do in our spare time. So it's really amazing that our little hobby band is becoming something more now.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of these bands, they just don't have multi-million-dollar contracts, folks. They have a daytime job, too.
Yeah, we have to. We don't earn any money playing metal. It's the harsh truth.
Any songs off the new album stand out more to you than any on it as of right now, possibly? I mean, I know these are like, picking your favorite collectible or child, but are there any songs possibly that stick out to you? I know it could change from day to day, but what about you?
I think like one of the songs that sticks out most to me is like the first single we released called False Light. Because like when we released it, I thought like this would be like kind of us taking it to a bit of a new direction. And I thought like the reception might be kind of poor because we changed things up a little bit, but it's been really good, and like the track has grown on me a lot as well. I kind of doubted it, but I don't do anymore. Like the more times I listen to it, the better it gets to me as well. Even though it was one of these songs that like I was mostly doubting when we did it.
Man, I've heard a lot of musicians say the exact same thing. Like, hey, I doubted this song, and then surprisingly, it was the top best one on the album.
Yeah. But it's also it's hard to get a feel for because you spend so much time inside it that you kind of lose track and you kind of view like the tracks other ways that like people listening to it for the first time will do. So it's really hard to predict, I think.
Yeah, and you become that song over a length period of time too, working on it so much.
Yeah, exactly.
Any songs from the Purge EP that made it to the Mark of Rot album, possibly?
No, it's all new stuff.
Oh, okay.
We were thinking, like, at one point we were thinking about, like, re-recording all of the Purge songs so we could get, like, a full length out faster because that's, like, better career-wise. But it's, like, we didn't feel like just doing that. We felt it was kind of, like, the easy way to release a full album. And we'd rather just, like, focus on writing new material, like, and developing as a band.
Speaking of that, going from the EP, Purge, to this one, was the writing the songs, did it go like smoother than the Purge EP possibly, or was it just about the same?
It was kind of like the same thing, but we tried to like expand our sound. So we had like not trouble, that's the wrong word for it, but like we had to kind of think a bit more about like how to instead of just writing like heavy songs, because this time around we have to write like this album is like almost 40 minutes, so we had to do something more than we did on the EP, because the EP, I still love it, but it's like very chunky and very heavy all the way through, and that's fine when you're doing 18 minutes worth of material, but like now we kind of have to like make sure that people don't lose interest because of monotony.
Who produced this album, or did you guys do it yourself? I know this is released on Long Branch Records, but did anybody produce this album for you guys?
No, it's like our guitarist Chris, who writes like almost all of the music. He's a producer as well. So we recorded everything ourselves, and then he like mixed and mastered.
So let's talk about this a little bit. Having someone in the band that produces your albums, does he become the producer, head honcho when it comes to the recording? I mean, versus being the actual band member. You know what I mean? Does he like take that role?
It's like, but obviously, like the guy who writes everything has a lot of things to say in like how it's going to be. Like because you can't tell a person to like write that kind of stuff if they if that's not what they write. So obviously, like he has been like a huge part of how the album sounds. But we've always he would always like write a song and then he would send it to us and we'd listen to it and say like yeah that's really cool, but try doing this here and so even though he's like the head writer, everybody gets the say. So
how long did it take you guys to record this album, Andreas?
Oh, it actually took quite a while because, as I said, like everybody has full-time jobs and stuff they have to do like to make a living. So we couldn't just like be in the studio like every day for a month. We had to like do it like over different periods of time. Like we do all of the instrumentals like 1 month, and like then the next month we do like all the vocals. We had kind of to plan like around everybody's day job and all that kind of stuff. So it took like quite a while.
How's working with Long Branch Records, getting signed to those folks? How's it been working with those folks?
It's been really great. Like they're awesome. It's really cool that we now have like they have this huge network of like they know a lot of people, and so now we automatically get like a lot of PR, and we have a budget to do stuff from them. So it's been great.
And plus for a young band, man, that takes so much pressure off you guys, and like you said, it is hard to get PR when it's just yourself, the band doing it. It's very hard.
Yeah, exactly. You have to know people. Mm-hmm. And they know a lot of people. So it's really great. We can really feel there's we have gotten like a lot more attention than when we released the EP.
Does it put any pressure on you guys when you hear Cabal is one of the most brutal and promising heavy acts hailing from Copenhagen, Denmark? Does that put any pressure on you guys?
Yeah, kind of is. We have to kind of live up to that reputation.
Yeah.
We don't want to disappoint anybody. And also, I think it kind of for the next album, it put some kind of pressure as well because we want to keep up with that, keep doing better.
My advice to you guys, I've seen a lot of bands come through, is just keep doing what you're doing because it's very, very good. So don't.
Thanks, man.
And my book don't change. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
Yeah.
But then again, you have to I get why some bands radically change the sound, because at some point it's going to be hard to write the same style of music, using the same kind of elements without kind of getting stale at some point.
Yeah. Do you guys do anything differently during the writing and recording process to maybe help keep your minds open and fresh to not let the music get stale? Because I know that happens sometimes. But do you do anything differently possibly to help keep your minds open?
I think one important part is that everybody in the band listen to loads of different types of music, not just metal. So people listen to everything from our bass player, he's a huge R&B fan. Mm-hmm. So we don't get inspired directly by that, but you can take something from that. You take something from everything. Some of the flows of the vocals are very hip hop inspired as well. So by listening to all kinds of music, we kind of get our inspirations from everywhere and in the musical scene.
I actually love hearing things like that come from bands that they don't focus on their style of music when they do their recording. They listen to other stuff to influence them. That is so damn cool, man, in my book.
Thanks, man. It's also the thing if you have to record for 10 hours a day and then I don't want to listen to metal after that. It's I'll be having nightmares about breakdowns and screaming and
Sure, I understand that. I mean, I could listen to metal all day and then switch to something punk or horror punk, stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Just something else.
Yeah. I mean, it relaxes you. It gets your mind away from what you're working with. I understand that completely.
Exactly.
Yeah. What do you hope the fans take away from the new album once they start listening to it, Andreas, or just Cabal's music in general?
Yeah, that's kind of a hard question. I just hope they get a kick out of it. That's all we can ask for, that they'll enjoy the music.
What can fans expect at a show from Cabal who have not got to see you guys live as of yet?
A lot of smoke, dimmed lighting, and just an energetic live show, and just intense atmosphere.
Now, we're living in a digital era right now of recording albums and social media. Social media plus the digital era allows music to get out quicker, plus it allows us to reach out to more fans. Do you like this? And plus, being a younger band, I'm sure you do because it gets you out more to different countries and different fans out there. Do you like this?
Yeah, of course, I like it a lot. Like I work with social media management for my daytime job. So obviously, I spend a lot of time doing that for Cabal as well.
Oh,
And I
cool.
think it's really cool that we have this tool that allows us to present our music to like the right people all over the world. And I think that's been like a huge part of like all of the success we have gotten already. That like because of all of this now, we can make sure that somebody will hear our music.
So Cobble has an inside guy, folks, for social media.
Yeah, I think like a lot of bands need that. Like, you need to have somebody who takes care of that stuff. It's crucial now.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I just started a YouTube channel last March, and I've been doing this for 8 years now. So that tells you how behind the times I am with stuff, you know. So
Yeah,
it's not that I'm behind the times. It's just that I didn't think there was no need for it. But
there
after
is.
sitting down and talking to a couple friends, it's like location, location, location. It's like more outlets, more outlets, more outlets.
Exactly. Like the more places you are, like the bigger the chance of somebody listening to your stuff is. So it's
I
pretty
mean,
simple actually.
you know, it's like I've always said, if one person listens to my show a day, I'm happy with that. You know,
Exactly. We feel the same way. It's like if the things we do will make one person happy, we're set.
exactly, my brother, exactly. I mean, because if you come into the mindset and say, oh, we're going to be superstars, you're going to burn out quick.
Yeah, then you shouldn't play metal.
There you go.
If you want to be a superstar.
Yeah, because you got to work your ass off at this, man.
Yeah, you do, and there's like this is like a niche genre, so it's like there's not a lot of money in it. Like, so if you're expecting to be a superstar, you should do some pop music or something like that.
Yeah, agreed. Support wise, I know you guys come from Copenhagen, but is there a country or a region that stands out more or surprises you? You guys get a lot of support from.
The United States, like that's where most of our fans are from.
Ah, okay.
So that's pretty cool. We didn't like expect that at all.
You'd be surprised, man. There's a lot of death metal fans over here. Heavy metal death fans too.
Yeah, we've noticed now. There's like I think it's like two-thirds of our following.
Jeez.
Yeah, like we have a lot of support in Denmark and like countries around it, but still, it's like and the cool thing about social media is like speaking about that is like now I can just go and directly like research like where is some music the most popular. That's America.
Yeah, and I've noticed too, Andreas, that there's more heavy metal fans overseas than versus over here in the United States. There's, like you said, I see more death metal fans over here than I do actually heavy metal fans.
Yeah, exactly. We have a lot of those heavy fans in Denmark as well. That's like the main group of people who listens to metal. Of course, we have all the people who likes like death metal and deathcore and all that stuff. But the heavy metal, that's like what makes out most of Danish metal fans.
In your own opinion, what does Cabal bring to the table for music that's not out there as of right now, possibly?
I think it's like it's like I would call it like the whole experience. It's music, but like if you listen to each track, there's a backing track like going all of the time. That Chris has written as well. So it's like you have all of the instrumentals, and then you have all of the atmosphere that's like he spent like loads of time doing as well. So it gives like this grand soundscape, which I think is like something I'm really proud of being a part of.
What made you want to become a musician? What was that spark for you that said, yeah, that's what I want to do right there?
I think it was like started going to shows when I was like 13 or 14 at the local like youth community. There was like a lot of hardcore and punk shows, and I started going there with my friends. I thought it was like amazing, and thought like I want to do that. Pretty much the basic story of like how most musicians start doing music, like by seeing somebody and thinking, yeah, I want to do that.
I would like to go back in the 60s or 70s and just watch some of the old school punk bands. I think that would be insanely awesome.
It would, because back then when it was like all new and like shocking for everybody. Like, I would love to go back in time and show some Cabal and see how they would react.
If you could work with any musician that has passed away or is alive today for just a couple of days, man, who would you pick possibly, or could you pick anybody?
It's a hard question because there's so many like really, really good musicians out there. I don't know, man. It's a hard one. Maybe Kurt Cobain, because like Nirvana was like the first kind of heavy band I ever got into. Like one of the first bands I started like listening to on my own, and I thought they did some really interesting stuff. It's not the kind of music I do, but I think it would be more to meet the person than actually to work with him. To be fair,
I hear a lot of people, and I do see it. It's funny how Nirvana actually changed the whole music scene.
Yeah, it is, because it's like this kind of like they sound like an underground band, like this punk rock grunge stuff. Like the thing they started doing like the first stuff was like really harsh in their own way, and then they got like mainstream success for some reason. So I think it's kind of like exposed a lot of people to another side of music. So it's like an entry band into heavier music for a lot of people, I think.
Folks, I want to tell you right now, please get out and support Cabal. Get out and support them. Also, pick up their new album, debut album, that's getting ready to come out February 23rd. It's Friday, February 23rd. Via Long Branch Records. The album's called Mark of Rot. And Andreas, how can folks stay in touch with you guys? Buy some merchandise, tour dates, things like that. How can they keep up with you guys?
They can follow us, like, they should just go follow us on Facebook or either that or Instagram, because we regularly just like update, keep folks updated with everything we do and post links for like merch and all that kind of stuff.
I'd just like to say thank you guys so much for the music, and thank you guys for like kind of like a fresh breath of air, man, of some new style of music in a way.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. Thanks for checking us out, and thanks for letting us be on your show.
Before I let you go, would you care to do a promo for my show?
Sure, man. What do you want me to say? This is Andreas of Cabal, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great music coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Radio Network. Thank you so much, Andreas.
Yeah, thank you, man.